Okay, on the way back to camp, it started not only raining pretty good, it started hailing too. So I'm trying to make good time. My tip for today is that whenever we're scent marking our territory, which is important to do, it's important to scent mark, pee around our territory on the outskirts of our territory so that the predators, they know that that's where we live. A predator who stakes out or makes a den behaves in the same way. Now, when we're scent marking, it's important to not do it when we're nervous or when we're a little bit afraid or unsure of ourselves. The best time to perimeter scent mark is when we're confident and feeling good about ourselves. That way, the right endorphins and chemicals are in the urine to tell the predator who is entering our territory that we mean business and that we're not afraid or anything. I was just thinking about that. All right, I'm going to enjoy the birds and then I'm going to go crawl in my den. Okay, there we go. Hi, friends. Okay, so it is a nice day. I just got back to the camp. I walked down to grab some water. The blue skies have all socked together here, all those white fluffy clouds. I don't think this is recording. Okay, we're rolling. Good. Okay, so long day. This is day 12. I think I know it's the 25th of June. Still don't have much time and everything, and I can barely charge my GoPro. I'm charging off my laptop, actually, which I just thought of today. I know the camp looks like a mess. Slow down, Matt. We only have 2 mats left on this SD card. I'm trying to make these shorter so I don't have to edit so much, so I can put out videos. Anyway, today the state of Washington decided that they were going to release the first grizzly bear of many here on Chappaqua Mountain. And they did so about, guessing from the sound of their rigs and everything, 6 miles that way. Or take. I'm running out of time and battery. Dang it. Okay. Anyway, so there is one grizzly bear on the mountain right now. So I have my whole camp piled in one spot. I'm refortifying. I've lived with grizzly bear and brown bear my whole life, so I'm not worried about it. But a slow, daisy, kind of confused bear, not knowing what's going on and everything, wandering around right here with me. I just want to keep my vigil, you know? And I'm pretty sure it's really close because okay, it's late. It took me too long to fortify the place. I just finished cooking. I built this escape ladder, is what it is, up the trees to about 15 foot. I don't want to sleep on that top pole. I'm going to go to sleep. If anything rattles in the middle of the night, I'll wake up, deal with it. And if I have to, I have an escape point. I can escape to the trees. Hoorah. the rain sucks. That's my tent under there. It's rained almost every day since I got here. Okay, so we're gonna start the story of catching you up on things. We'll start in October 2023. Basically, I did a really strenuous workout exercise. I like to exercise a lot. That's why I'm normally, you know, kind of strong looking and everything. And so I woke up the next morning. I had pinched a nerve in my neck, in the left side of my neck. And so it made my entire left arm tingle real bad. And I couldn't raise my head or look to the left, really. So I went into the doctor. It was really bad. I was really, really worried because I was in a car accident when I was in my 20s and damaged part of my spine and my neck. So I was worried that, like, it was catching up with me. Well, the doctor was really good about getting me in really fast to have x-rays and an MRI done and everything. And thanks, Doc, if you're watching this. So found out that it does have to do with my pre-existing injury and everything, and lined up with a surgeon and all. Right now, I'm giving it time to see if it's gonna, like, get better or heal on its own, which isn't unrealistic. And at my age and how strong I am and everything, and the fact it is getting better, it is my personal choice to do that, which is okay, right? So I'm trying to see if it's gonna get better, because the downtime from the surgery is like a year anyway. So if I were gonna do a surgery, I'd need to do it in the winter when I had the downtime. Anyway, so there's October. What else happened in October? That was when I got injured. Do you like my little camp stove? I made it. This is a old smoker, is what this is. The top comes off of it. I cut the door, welded in these little latches, this little bolt thing with the wire on it, and then I welded, it's not pretty, I know, but I welded this smokestack. It's off of a big rig, like a pickup truck, or a big truck, a big rig. So where was I? Okay, so November, in the first part of November, my computer, which was really low tech, it's what I'd been editing my YouTube videos for like 2.5, 3 years at that point. It finally died. A friend of mine, Lainey, thank you, Lainey, helped me buy a new laptop, and a little bit better of a laptop too. So I was able to put my videos out faster. And it was really cool because things started really picking up. Not only was I reaching more people and the community growing and all this really cool stuff happening, my paycheck was getting bigger too. And I'd been living through the winters, because there isn't any other work or anything in the winter, on very little throughout the entire previous few years. So it felt good to be making a little bit more money. I was making up to about $500 a paycheck now at that point. Do you like my little camp stove? It runs on these little butane bottles. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it's really nice. I got it for 50 bucks at Walmart. Isn't that cool? It's one burner. It's awesome. Just doing some sausage and eggs right now. I should say sausage and egg. I have them in little individual packets in bags of 2 and 3. One of them broke, so I'm down to 1 for this lunch. So where was I? Let's see. Doesn't that look good? Oh, that's gonna be so good. Yeah. So November, yes. I just started making more money with YouTube, which was really good because winter expenses kicked in. The electricity bill at the picker cabin went up to $200 a month. Now that's more than reasonable. It gets very cold here and the entire cabin runs on electric. So I was really happy to have that extra revenue coming in from YouTube. And then also I was getting to do things like live videos where I was now getting to actually interact with everybody in live time, kind of. And it was really cool. It's so good. I'm gonna finish this, then we'll go get some firewood. Keep telling you the story. The rain's let up just a little bit. What sucks about the rain is how it slowly soaks in around you, you know? Starts up here at the shoulders and stuff, and then down at the feet too. One thing I try and do while I'm walking, because the reason your feet will get so wet is the grass is all wet. So sometimes when it's really wet, I'll step heel, then toe. Heel, then toe. Instead of the normal way of walking, which I find is my normal way, is I'll kind of swing my feet and just put them down, and that causes the toes of my feet to hit the grass and knock the water onto the fabric of the top part of my shoes, which will make it get wet. So we are headed for the pickup truck. See, I had hoped it wasn't gonna rain today. Today is actually my first day to be able to catch up, and I really needed it, especially to be able to work on the shelter. Sorry guys, I know that this picture must suck, so I have to wipe the water off the lens. Where was I? Right, November. So then that led on to December. Now, winters get long with nothing to do, especially being a bachelor and everything. So it's like a lot of Family Feud, a lot of like audiobooks and stuff, and it can get long. Well, with the new computer and doing lives and everything, live streams, I came up with the idea that through the holiday season, through like Christmas and the holidays, for anybody that was lonely or didn't have anywhere else to go, they could come hang out with me on my live stream, you know, on YouTube. So we started playing holiday music throughout Christmas, which was really cool. We all got together, we got to know a lot of each other. It was a sad time for a lot of us, or a lonely time, and so it was nice to have that camaraderie and companionship with each other, and it was really good. Then that led on to Music Madness, which is a little music show that we do on my channel here. Most of y'all guys already know, we just, sometime around midnight, specifically Pacific time, which is where I live, we play music and take requests and talk to each other on the chat line and everything, and it's really neat. Well, that was born in January 1st, New Year's. So what we did, it was a really cool thing on my channel. It was a New Year's celebration where we played music continually on my channel for 24 hours. Now, 4 hours of that was lost because we had internet problems. But we celebrated New Year's in every country and every location that it had turned 2024. It was really, really cool. And that kind of is what birthed Music Madness. We've done up to 40, I think this next broadcast will be our 45th broadcast, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really cool. It's a little place where people come together and hang out. I'm so glad that I found that extra battery last night. I at least know that I have time with y'all guys for this video. It's so nice to be able to look on here and have like 79%. It's having to charge it all the way. All I need is another battery. I think the GoPro's fine. And the problems I've been having, because I've lost a lot of footage, guys. My SD cards, some of them are like 2 and 3 years old, and they've corrupted a lot of my data, which has also been part of a problem. So anyway, January kept going, and I started getting really bored and like really lonely. And then the nerve damage, I was starting to find out more and more about it. And it was getting better, but I couldn't work, right? So anytime even a little odd job would come up or something, I couldn't do it. I'd have to make some kind of excuse or reason, or just flat out tell them I'm injured right now. And with not really much hope at that time, because I hadn't been healing long enough to know if it was going to get better, I was starting to get in my head about it. So I thought to myself that I could go into town, into Orville, and hang out with my buddy Michael and his buddy Tom, who's now my really good friend Tom, and at the shop in Orville. And I could work with them, and being bros, like if I couldn't do something, I could like tell them that and rely on them to help me, basically, you know, because bros are different. The real bro is there to help us, you know, knowing that we'll be there for them. And that's how Michael and I have always been. Michael is like my very best friend, probably. And it was so cool. See, I didn't have, any mechanic skill, and that always bothered me. I mean, especially as a guy, right? Like the alpha male kind of like guy, right? Needs to know something about mechanics. Especially now my whole world is mechanically inclined. So I went in and I feared that we could do our YouTube things together, because Michael's already into YouTube and Tom wanted to do it too. And then Tom's little baby girl, Peanut, yeah, she was more than happy to get up in front of the camera, right? And so it was so much fun. We went in and we worked on my pickup truck, and they taught me things. And over the last 3 months, I think 3 months, because when things get moving faster in the story, I'm not going to be able to give you like basic dates. So the story is just going to keep moving now. But it was so neat hanging out with the guys. It was kind of like a sitcom. We had our own thing going. And then we started helping the town and the community, and we'd go out and like help salvage stuff and then give that to people that needed whatever it was we had salvaged. And the spirit and the humor was just so good for a couple months. We're at max, guys. Oh, I love the smell of an old truck, right? Dang. Especially on a damp day. So, yeah, I've got to start him so that the fluids and stuff will all get warm and everything. So, yeah, things were really cool and going really well. Michael had a little like bedroom spot they'd set up downstairs on the couch where, and he'd built his editing bay around that. It's kind of like where he lived, right? Tom had built a little editing bay thing. Then Tom and his buddy Wes, who's now my good friend Wes, hey Wes, built me an actual production desk. There was this little like sleeping loft up in the top of the shop, and I was staying there. So I was working for the electricity, I was working with the guys, I was making a little bit of money. All of a sudden YouTube started doing so well. Not only for the money, right? I mean, yes, this is how I make my money. I work hard at it. It's an art, it's a career, it's what my life experience has given me to work with, right? So that's cool that it started getting successful, but even better, people really liked it. Y'all guys like jumped in and loved the shop and the guys and the mission and Orville, and it was so neat. And then we were even able to kind of like count on each other. You know what I was saying about bros bros, we're there for each other. So like when one of us couldn't make it, the other one did, right? Like even with the guys, they put in so much work with YouTube that I was able to give them a couple extra $100 here and there, just as a gift for helping me, right? And we were able to help each other back and forth. And like I said, the community started doing so well. So many people sharing and healing and being so inspirational and everything. And then things started taking a turn for the darker side. I find that happens in life anytime that something good is made or starts somehow. It seems like it doesn't take long, and the bad starts to circle around it. And I've seen it before. You see, I did all of this before. What you're watching here is a production that I learned how to do from 30 people. There was at least a 30-person crew involved in the production where I learned my on-the-job skills in production. And so I've been doing all of this like by myself. Now all of a sudden, Michael and Tom were in it, and it was so cool. And it so reminds me of everything before. It's like I've lived this before, right? It's not as big and everything, but it's very much the same. All of a sudden, haters started coming out of the woodwork, left and right, and things started changing. I keep it parked in here. Sorry, Max. Come on. There we go. It's cold. There we go. Come on, Max. Thank you. All right. You just chugga till you get warmed up, all right? Sounding good. Just need to warm up. That's all it is. All right. I need to grab everything, because a big part of what I'm trying to do right now is not make a lot of trips. I need to expend as little of my own energy as possible so that I can stack back up my strength. I need to grab my stuff. So socks. I got socks and stuff in here. What else is it? It's a couple things. Let me take care of this and then we'll start back up, guys. Got the chicken. It was in the cooler, but we're out of ice now, so I need to put it in the wilderness cooler, we'll call it. So where was I in the story? Now, January, February, March, up into April, all kinds of runs. It all runs a lot together, and it's a lot. So also it involves other people, so I have to be careful not to be slandering anyone or anything. In order to do that, I'm going to talk about how I perceived the events that took place and what I've heard and what I experienced myself. As long as I stay to those premises, then legally I should be covered. If not, I'll see you in court. So So I don't know what happened in the everything else, but that's really when things started falling apart. That, and then Tom, and I don't want to get into a long thing about this either. This is just personal stuff at this point, I think, but so much went on. I need to cover it a little bit. Basically, him and a friend were involved in a practical joke on another friend. When that ended, it didn't end, as things we start like that sometimes don't. It just stretched on, and then the joke wound up being on Tom, and then the joke went to not being funny anymore, and it started getting really bad and serious and everything, and it wound up in a big legal thing where I even went in and testified as to my understanding of all the events. It ended in a non-conduct order, but it didn't end there because it's a small town, and so every single day got caught up and dragged into this BS feud, basically, right? At the same time, Michael and we didn't have any place to sleep anymore. So I was crashing in my pickup truck where I could. I couldn't go back to the farm because the farm had been retired. The gentleman I work for and the boss lady, they're retired last year. So they pulled out the trees because it's not going to be farmed anymore. And so we were all in a really bad kind of situation, you know, all of us caught up in our own life things. At the same time, Michael's job started, his irrigation summer job out in Loomis. So he moved from there back to the farm, basically, in a motorhome that he had bought from a guy. Now, when he bought his motorhome, he gave me his camp trailer. Y'all guys know I am not about being given the way out of my problems. And so it was very hard for me to accept it. Finally, though, I did. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being one of the very few people in my life who have always helped me and been there and given me a hand up instead of a hand out. So, yeah, we'll dive in now to we'll just move on to the rest of it, because now we go from just haters and feuds to actually dangerous internal problems that we started experiencing. So nice to have a break in the rain. I dress so thick with so many layers, though, I get hot all of a sudden after it stops raining. It's never perfect, right? You see, I think sometimes, though, that's inside me, because I'm not accepting the perfectness of it, honestly. You know, life on life's terms, all of that. So like I was saying, after the show I was on, after ABP, I had a real education in like life, production, entertainment, people, human nature, and entities as they grow and stuff. As Alaskan bush people grew, so did the hate. A lot of people say that it became so popular because there was so much hate talking about it and everything. And so the hate that I've generated over the few years, I've just looked at as publicity. It causes people to actually wonder what's up, and then they come and find my site, and then they become part of the community, and then they share their life and healing journey, and it just furthers the mission. I also watched how a lot of the haters, particularly a site called Alaskan Bush People Exposed, really was very responsible for a lot of the negativity, the spiritual angst, the downfall, not only of like, so I don't want to give them too much power and everything. You see, though, they were this site devoted solely to ridiculing and destroying what we had going on. They took, like, it was bad, and everybody knew that they were somebody that was inside, an insider, because their information and everything was just, and their pictures and stuff. So now, as YouTube was starting to become more successful, we actually made, at one point, up to $1,400 off of it. It was enough that we were able to save the shop when Tom had the falling out with his partner. Yeah, it felt good to be able to do it, right? Honestly, between y'all guys, we're back down to about $500 a paycheck, which is enough to live on. It's part of the reason I'm here. Anyway, how did I even get off on that tangent? Probably because like the hate and stuff says I try and scam people out of money and all. And so I had gone on that for a second. With no editing, that's not like I can just stop and right. So the point is, I've watched how hate and how people who don't even know us decide to devote hours and hours of their day and their time to simply being negative and hurtful towards people that they don't even know. So this new site popped up during all of this. Bush people or some BS like that. And we can't get it shut down. Hundreds of us here at the community have filed reports against it with YouTube and everything. And it's just the biggest lies and vulgarity possible. It reminds me of Alaskan Bush People Exposed. My theory is, what it seems like to me, is that because Alaskan Bush People is gone, Alaskan Bush People Exposed isn't making like that 32 cents a click that they used to make. And so they've started a new site on YouTube to follow this new thing that we're doing on YouTube and basically be vultures and leeches off of it. Now, at the same time, individual new haters sprung up all over the place. Some of us in the group actually started getting death threats and hate mail. I've gotten hate mail telling me, it's postcards telling me to stop scamming around Orville and stuff. It's all written in caps, looks like psychopath writing and stuff. Then my friend Yvonne, she got here, what was it? It was May 20th, because I had just moved out of the shop. And yeah, she got here, spent 2 weeks. It was awesome. You know, a long trip for her, and like it rained the whole time. She sprained her ankle. She was such a trooper, though. I think she had a good experience, you know. It put me a little bit behind on stuff, especially being between places and everything. Because at the same time, well, just at the same time, I would not able to work at the farm anymore. They need somebody there that can rake the grass, and that doesn't pay enough money per month to justify me staying at the picker's cabin. So I was in between trying to figure out where to go after that. So we spent Yvonne's vacation between Orville or Omak, which the Omak Inn, if you're ever at the Omak Inn, tell them Matt says hi, and out at the picker's cabin. So it was a really good little vacation. At the same time, it was also educational because Yvonne's a bit of a sleuth, right? I knew that I had people in Omak who, well, they base out of Omak, who have been following me around, taking pictures, trying to catch me in compromising poses and stuff, or places, a lot like Alaskan Bush People Exposed used to do. Well, Yvonne caught one of them. We were at North 40. It's a supply store there in Omak, and this guy was parked right next to us, and she's like, that guy's taking pictures of us. I'm like, really? I memorized him first. I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to take pictures of me, I'm going to take pictures of you. So I took a couple pictures of him as we were driving out. I just don't like the hate, guys. I don't like y'all guys thinking that you can do whatever you want and justify it against me or against my community. So I'm up here clearing my mind, trying to figure out what to do about it. Is that beautiful? I love the way that the little birds come out and chirp right after the rain stops. Sometimes there's like, I don't know what bird it is, but when it's raining, they'll chirp the prettiest song you've ever heard, but it sounds mad. It sounds angry. And it's so good. Yeah. So, story continues. At the same time a lot of this is going on, or even maybe a little bit before Yvonne's visit, we had a really toxic event happen in this group here with our community. See, these little chat lines get started, like on Instagram and stuff, and normally they're really, really cool. It's people that meet each other out here at like Music Madness or something. They make these little chat groups with like 4 to 10 people in it. They talk about their days and their lives and their successes, and it's really cool. Sometimes we find a toxic one. And there was one out there that lots of the group were coming back, the community were coming back, talking about these two-faced people that were at our lives and stuff, and then also like stalking members of the community. When I agreed that night, I wound up doing a Music Madness, and I got hacked. My phone got hacked, my Instagram got hacked, my whole system, including my computer, got hacked. Started putting up all this jargon on the screen and stuff and everything. And I had to just close down. I killed the computers and everything on my phone, and finally I just deleted all of my apps. Now my stuff still exists online. I'm still online, but now my apps aren't connected to my electronics. I have to find a computer guy who can tell me if my computer's jeopardized, because I'm afraid if I log back in to YouTube, Instagram, or Gmail, then they can get my passwords and account names and stuff. Also, my phone's the same way. Now I have hooked up my my old phone, which is my business phone. I keep it very, very safe, and so that way I can at least post like a short every now and then while I can. The reason I'm here is because I can't afford to be anywhere else. I could go get a job at a hardware store or something. Sure. I can't do construction for previously mentioned reasons. I'm still healing. I'm healing, right? I might have to have surgery this winter. The problem with getting a real job is that an employer wants a person to work there for a couple years. That's what justifies the training and all of this stuff. They don't want to hire somebody that's just there to get on their feet. And I'm just there to get on my feet. So instead, I've decided I will take life on life's terms, and I will tell it, no, I will not let you drive me where you want me to go. I will drive us the only way that the road goes. I'm a man with a particular set of skills. This set of skills allows me to survive in many different locations, abilities, and through many different hardships. So I've gone back to the beginning, in the words of Indio Montoya from the movie Princess Bride. Remember, I am back at the beginning. That's where I am. I figure within a month, I can get back on my feet, get the computer fixed, get a new phone, and then I can get into Orville and fix up my trailer. That'll give me somewhere to winter and everything. I'm thinking very seriously about summering here. I love living like this. This is heaven for me. I've only got to do it very rarely over the past 3 years, so this is something I enjoy. I'm thinking about doing it more up until maybe even winter, but that's going to be going into town every couple weeks and so for a week, that kind of stuff. Now, what else? Come on. Oh, wasn't sure if I should leave this out or not. Okay, you might notice that we're not camped anywhere that you really recognize. The pickup's parked back at the back trail, but we're miles and miles up into the boonies. This is what I call the Brier patch, for obvious reasons. There are even bunnies out here. Well, yesterday, that's fresh. I mean, fresh-ish. Yesterday, the state of Washington released the first grizzly bear to northern Washington, and they did it only a few miles from where I'm camped. It's actually the coolest thing in the world. I've prepared for black bears. I've learned how to live with the big cats, the cougars, and the mountain lions. But you know what? I've missed the apex predators. And so, yeah, somewhere out here, there is a dozy, very confused Canadian grizzly bear roaming around. So I'm refortified camp, just trying to keep things right. Stay safe. I grew up with them, you see. It's like, back where I'm from, it's like 3 of them for every, no, 1 for every 3 miles or 3 for every mile or something. It's a lot of bear. Yeah. Part of my bear defense. Just some jingly cans on string. So I can hear it. If it gets close, it's up around all this perimeter. I've got it strung full 360. There's not much I can do about it. The powder got wet in my 45. I've got all fresh powder and everything in my 44. Got my 22. That's just a spitball shooter. But I know how to talk to predators. We have this conversation thing out here. It's an animal thing, you know. So I'm gonna gather some firewood here in a minute, and then maybe I might cook up another egg. I'm hungry again. I'm trying to bulk back up. I've lost a lot of weight and some muscle mass, trumping up and down out here. It's amazing how much energy it takes. And yeah, I started burning actual body weight. One cool thing I did last night, check it out. As soon as I realized the bear was here, I made this ladder. So it's step, 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 step. And then you got this pole on the top. It's about 13 feet up or so. I'm gonna go a few more feet and then maybe build a little platform. It's just in case, you know, it's best to be able to just climb and get out of the way. Also, I built it on pretty strong trees. These would be hard to dig up, you know. I'm gonna keep a little bit of ammunition or something up there. So if I do wind up spending a long time up there, maybe take up some food, you know? Yeah. So I guess we're running to about the end of the, of this video, this little catch-up video. We'll start, I guess we'll end with yesterday and then talk about some of my hopes for the future. So yesterday was, no, day before yesterday was payday. I went into town, I got groceries, I got